Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to another great episode of Kyndra's Corner, man. Before I go ahead and go on with my foolishness, I want to just say to y'all, please make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe so you don't miss any great episodes, any interviews I've been doing this past week. I got a chance to do Ken Ivy's interview. I also did Coop X. So please make sure you guys check that out. It's on my lives and everything else like that. You all not be disappointed because I'm a jack of all trades, okay? Or like Coop, he's a Coop of all trades. So please make sure y'all check that out. I just want to let y'all know this as well before I go ahead and bring my two guests on because we're in New Orleans today. All right, that's where the scenery is set because I got two Nolas. I don't know what to call y'all because like here we say ATLians, so y'all say no aliens. I don't know. Anyway, but they'll correct me when I bring them on. But I want to let y'all know that there are many men who don't even put the rag in between their butt cheeks when they shower. Okay, y'all just let that water hit. So without that further being said, that's why y'all women need to stop being a gooch goblin. Let me go ahead and bring out Wings on the plane.
What the fuck? I'm not the nigga she talking about with the rag. I don't know how to follow that. That nigga is not me.
Pineapple. It's him.
Yeah,
Whoa. What? Time out. Wait a fucking minute.
He crazy. Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, hold up. When she said that shit, I was like, bro, who the fuck not out here washing their ass? Like, what kind of shit y'all on?
A hard act to follow, Kyndra. It's a hard act to follow.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I want to Pineapple. He was on the good drugs, hospital drugs last week. But I would like for him to say what happened to you, brother, where you had to go get surgery on your arm, your left arm, right shoulder, or something.
So everybody asks me that question, and I always tell them, and they be thinking I'm bullshitting, but I threw a midget.
That nigga say I threw him. That nigga say I threw a midget. Man, you going to jail. Bitch, them people handicapped, man.
So, that ass. Check it out. So, I teach unarmed self-defense in my job title. So, one day we were training, and I had this 4'11", barely 110-pound female that I was training. Her job was to survive being attacked by a bigger, more aggressive suspect for a minute. We usually roll with them like that for a minute. I picked her little ass up and threw her across the mat, and that's when I felt something pop in my arm. She landed on her feet and ran at me like a damn honey badger. Like, she whipped my ass. I ain't even gonna hold you. So that was over a year. That was about a year ago. Yeah, that was about a year ago. And I just finally had the surgery on it. So shout out to my girl Plain. You have done something no man on this earth has ever been able to do in my 42 years of existence, and that's put me out of commission.
Shout out to you, young lady. That motherfucker
Shout
knew
out
come
to that
true.
young lady. I called her a couple weeks ago before I had the surgery, and I told her, I said, you know, I got to get my arm cut on because of you. And she was like, you shouldn't have been messing with me. She said, next time I'm be talking shit. I said, right on. So when I go back out to Kansas, man, I gotta catch that one with her for real. Me and her gonna have it out.
Yes, hey, listen, bring her on the podcast, man. She needs to come on here. I love it.
Yeah, she is amazing though. Very motivated, high speed young warrior. I love her to death. So if you ever listening to this, just know you did this, young lady. But I'm proud of you for doing it.
That's it.
She did your ass like Big Mama house, nigga. Goddamn Martin dressed up in the Big Mama suit and whooped the shit out of her.
Oh yeah. She tore that ass up, boy, because that rotator cuff is destroyed.
Well, it looks when he came on, he had, he was kind of flinching a little bit, so it was, but it's doing better. You say you ain't got the sling or anything. So you been at the house chilling?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be out for a little while. Like apparently this takes a little over a year for some people to recover from. It's not a fast process. It's gonna take time to get, especially in my line of work, being in law enforcement and doing the things that I like to do. I like to box. I like to lift heavy shit and put it back down. So I'm gonna be on the shelf for a while.
Okay. All right. No
Hold up, bitch. I ain't know you was the police, bitch. You the police, bitch. I ain't know you the police, girl. Hold up, bitch. I've been on it, man. What the fuck? I ain't know that pineapple, bro. Hold up, dog. I ain't know you the police. Man, what the fuck you got going on, Kyndra? What the fuck y'all doing, nigga? I ain't with Thug and them. I ain't in no Rico. I ain't in gang. I ain't
Let me
represent me.
just tell you, Wings, you good, bro. Don't you worry about a goddamn thing, bro. You good. You good.
I
Right
paid my
now,
taxes.
I'm a citizen on the podcast. That's what the fuck I I'm a citizen on the podcast, yo. That's what I am.
Oh gosh, hilarious. Well, let me go ahead. Yeah, let's get to this first interesting news of the week. So I'm gonna start off with you, Pineapple. Let me go ahead and read. I'm gonna start off with you. So a wife by the name of Tameka Hargrave passed away while cheating on her husband with her car mechanic. The two were intimate inside a closed garage as the car ran, slowly filling the room with deadly fumes. They both lost consciousness and died, and was discovered later by her husband. What are your thoughts on that, Pineapple?
Well, first of all, if that's an actual story, that's good for both of their ass. But secondly, I find that extremely hard to believe because not a mechanic on this planet worth his soul would close a garage door with a car running. That is like dumbass 101. You don't do that. It's called carbon monoxide. I'm just saying, like, I don't think a mechanic would do something so foolish. When that story came out, I saw it before. I'm
Oh,
like,
you did.
yeah, I'm like, that's got to be bullshit. Because, unless he's got to be the dumbest motherfucking mechanics to ever turn a wrench. But either way the cut go, if that's a true story and they both went out like that, well, I mean, hey, good riddance to bad rubbish.
Before I go to Wings, real quick, but Pineapple, but you realize the stupid people everywhere, right? So,
Oh yeah, trust me in my line of work.
Yes, so you know that there's stupid people everywhere. So you don't think that it's a possibility that it could actually have been true? Because when you caught up in the moment, you don't care.
I mean, it's kind of like a dentist not knowing the difference between a molar and an incisor. I'm just saying.
That is true. That will be fucked up. You shouldn't get past dental school not knowing that. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. So a mechanic not knowing that closing the door of a garage and sealing it in, you're basically putting yourself in a damn gas chamber. Dummy.
Right, go. Wings, what are your thoughts on the story?
Man, I am gonna cap. I gotta agree with my dog Pineapple, bro. They both motherfucker. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Right
You
on.
shouldn't be committing fucking fidelity. I've been married and divorced. Bitch, you fucking in cars. First off, how did the husband find you? Where was y'all fucking? They say the husband found her in the car with the nigga, both of the bodies. Now, this to me, you both were wrong. You're committing infidelity. You're married. You shouldn't be doing that. My thing is, now you fucking with the car on, right? Now I done fucked in a lot of cars. Never have I had the car running more than 15 minutes. Now if you're gonna go have a long bang bang session, cut the car off, nigga. Roll the window down. Now second off, nigga, if we fucking in car, let's be in an open space. Don't be in no garage. We in the garage for. So that's what let me know. Was they in somebody's house? Like where was they at for the car to be in a garage? Like where was they fucking at for them to die in the car?
Probably in the mechanic's garage.
See what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it could have been. It's so avoidable, and I hope they both climaxed because to die for a nut, baby.
That's what I was thinking. I wonder if they got their nut off. Like
I hope so, bro. Cause I don't want to die about busting a nut. Fuck all that shit. Pussy kill. I rather masturbate. I got 4 fingers and 1 thumb, and I grip them together, and I go up and down.
Are you said them 5 chicks on Palm Street?
Well, you know what? I could just say that's what she gets. No telling how long this was going on. Because a lot of times, man, stuff like this, like when infidelity happens, it goes on for a while. People typically, they don't get caught they first go round. They get caught, it might be taking about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years later. You never know. But no telling. So hey, they got each other. You know that they
Oh yeah. There's plenty of fucking in hell. So if they didn't get that nut, they can finish the party when they get there.
Shit. Hell no.
Free. He can go find himself a woman who's actually faithful, who he, loyal woman who he can come home to. in booty shorts, and she'll be cooking some fried chicken. You know, frying that chicken and some booty shorts. Isn't that a dream? Isn't that a dream come true for a man? You just walk home and you see a woman
Yes,
with some booty shorts, and you know. Did y'all
I
see that in
love it.
y'all's marriage? You just come home and you see your woman in booty shorts frying chicken. Did y'all see that in y'all's marriage?
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm squeezing your booty. I'm squeezing that ass. I don't care where it's public. I
Facts.
just gotta grab that
Facts.
ass.
We squeezing them
Yeah.
goddamn cheeks
You
immediately.
got sweet and sweet, baby. My nigga Juvie said it best. Would I be violated if I grab me a handful? I know it was had me. All I want is a sample, baby. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
I love it. All right, Wings. Let me come to you with the random poll. Okay, let's get ready. It's gonna get a little
Oh,
bit more. This about to get real controversial with this question.
Oh shit. Here we
So
oh
go.
shit.
Controversy.
Damn.
we are taught that when a parent hits their child, it's out of love. So why doesn't that same narrative apply when a man or a woman hits their significant other?
Oh, now you know that that's a good question because in a lot of domestic violence cases, I have seen people say, "I only did this to you out of love." Like a nigga will haul off, back the piss out of bitch, choke that motherfucker eyes out of her head and say, "Baby, I only did that because I love you. I did it out of love." So it don't apply, but I mean, I don't know. That's a very touchy. That is touchy because with parents, you know it's from love because this comes from your loins. You don't want to kill the motherfucker. You just want to discipline them. Spitterize spur the child. Now with another person, that motherfucker is not a child of yours. You should not be putting your hand on people. But if we're gonna use that narrative, I'm doing out of love. I seen it done like that, but that ain't love, man. Putting your hand on people, like especially women that like that shit, like, oh, I want to be toxic and I want a nigga to choke me and beat me to show he love me. Bitch, you need to get away from me. And the guys that do that shit, that's dangerous. That's why you got these shows like Fatal Attraction and Snapped and How to Get Away with Murder, because motherfuckers be doing that type of stuff. So, yeah, man, that ain't a good look, bro. Be kind to each other. Be nice.
So before I go to pineapple, so here's the thing: is it ever right to put your hands on your child? Like, is there not a way to? And this is your opinion, right? Is there not a way to express your disappointment and doing punishment, having punishment ways or so without having to hit them? Like, you don't think that in your opinion, I know this is part one of the questions, the part two, in your opinion, you don't think that teaches that child, okay, because my parents hit me, I have to react the same way to somebody else because basically I'm losing control of my emotions. Go ahead.
Well, that only happens if you discipline the child without telling them why they're being disciplined. It goes back to like when you're training a puppy. If you tell the puppy if they do something and they shit or pee somewhere, I've seen a lot of people, they'll make them smell it and then they'll discipline them to let them know don't do that. So when you do it that way, they should understand if I do this again, I'll be disciplined. But if you just whooping their ass and not telling them why you whooping their ass, then they'll take that and go out into the world and start abusing people because they've been abused. So the abuse becomes the abuser now. You know what I'm saying? So that can happen if you're not telling them why you're disciplining them. You know what I'm saying? But you should never put your hands on another adult as a person. But with the kids, if you're going to discipline them, tell them why so they can understand why they're being disciplined.
Do you think it's also a double standard as well with the reason why parents can hit their children because it's like, oh, I'm doing this because I love you? Or do you think or what do you think that could be classified as?
I won't say it's a double standard because, like I said, with the children, it's the parent and the child dynamic. With the two adults, it's a spouse or a mate and a partner, but you still don't have the right to put your hands on a person. So it's not a double standard because they're apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about a person that is biologically related to another person, and then two people that are just come together to be together, abusing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that shouldn't under no circumstance be done. But when a parent is disciplining a child, they're disciplining them for the betterment of them in the future. If you teach them, they won't discern away from what you teach them. Spare the rod, spur the child, all that type of shit.
Yeah.
But you don't try to beat them to kill them.
Oh,
You
no,
know,
of
I think
course
I read it
not.
in the Bible. I think I even read it in the Bible. I don't read it a lot, but it say if you beat them, they will not die. That shit really said that if you beat them, they will not die. So beat their ass, but don't try to kill them. You know what I'm saying?
Got you. Okay. All right. Let me go to pineapple. Go ahead, pineapple. You want me to reread the question or you got it?
No. First of all, I would say that as an adult, you putting your hands on people and you talking about it's out of love, that's pure fucking lunacy. You crazy as a sprayed roach. You doing some shit like that. I done had some people I done dealt with that done pissed me off to the point where I wanted to bat the piss out of them. But I ain't never put my hands on one of them because I ain't got that to do. If I got to get to the point where you're getting me mad enough to hit you, knowing what I can lose, nah, you got to go. You got to get the fuck away from me immediately because I'm not an arguer. I'm not a hamburger. We're not going to even. Me and my wife was married for 11 years. We had maybe 1, 2 arguments in 11 years
Well, salute. I salute
because
you, bro.
we don't. We're not doing that shit. What the fuck is the problem? Let's talk about this like adults and literally figure this shit out. Come together like butt cheeks and figure this shit out. Like, we're not about to fucking fight. We're not about to throw shit because the minute we start doing that, nah, we don't need to be around each other. As far as a kid, me being the only parent in the room, it is a different dynamics because this is my child, this is my seed. I'm not only raising my child, I'm raising somebody's husband, wife, somebody's employee, somebody's future boss, somebody's future neighbor. My job is to put out a productive member of society. Not the next fucking serial killer, not the next spoiled,
Yeah.
entitled rat. Where if he doesn't get his way, he goes and shoot up the whole fucking school for not having lunch money. Like, so yeah, I'm not a big on physical discipline, especially by me being in the military. I used to smoke the shit out of my kids. You gonna exercise until your knees wobble.
That's
But
a discipline right there.
I, I had whooped my children ass, and it hurts me to do that because we got to this point because you start feeling like you failed that it got to this point. And I remember when my son was like 5 or whatnot, he had got the teacher calling me 3 days in a row because he wanted to act a ass in class. So when he came home, I was so stark raving mad. I knew if I put my hands on him, I was gonna probably hurt him a lot more than I wanted to. So had a second to think about it. When he walked in the door, I grabbed him and I picked his ass up and I put him against the wall and I growled at him like a bear. His soul and his fucking shadow ran away from him at that moment. You can see the fear in his eyes. And I told him, I said, son, in the creepiest voice ever. See, you learn all these mind game tricks. I was like, son, if that lady ever called me again, I swear to God, I'll kill you right where you stand. And I haven't had an issue out that motherfucker. He about to be 14 next week, bro. I ain't had an issue out of him since. Yo, straight A student, star athlete, a hell of a good kid. Like, I have not had an issue out of him at all. Now, that daughter of mine, she gonna be the reason I start drinking. Because
Damn, so you gonna start drinking, hit the bottle,
that little
bro?
motherfucker she gonna start making me drink, bro. I promise you. But sweet kid, she's starting to get it together. Again, straight A student, honor student. She's probably gonna graduate 2 years early because she's so goddamn smart.
Mm.
But Janaya would try you. My baby would definitely try you, honestly. But so far, I don't have too many issues out of them. But again, I'm raising a product that I got to put out there into the world. So I have to invest in them because if me and you dating, you come with all that habla, habla, habla shit, I'm not about to hit you. I'm going to tell you, get the fuck on. Because you don't have to
Yeah,
be here, sweetheart. I
yeah,
have to be their dad. And they have to be my children. And that dynamic isn't going to change until one of us dies.
hey, real. I gotta
So,
be there,
yes.
homie.
With Janaya, I know you say you growled at your son. Did you try that same tactic with her and it just didn't work?
Yeah, she laughed at me. I told her I was gonna sell her to them cats over in overseas, and she was like, "Fuck it, let's go then." Like that little girl is just like my daddy, which is the scariest thing about she don't
What's
give a
up,
bruh.
boy?
She don't give a shit, bro. She is fearless, sweet child, but she is fearless. Like if I threaten her the same way I threaten him, because he's at that stage now where he doesn't want to disappoint me. Like if I tell my son, you let me down right now, that fucks with him. Worse than any ass whooping, worse than any smoking session. That really fucks with his head. If I tell him that I'm disappointed, Janaya will like, you get over it. Fuck, you're probably gonna be mad next week too, because I'm gonna do this shit again. Like, I'm like, all right, she gonna make me kill her. But
What would
so
what would
Don't
her
kill
far,
me.
like,
what would her mom try to do to discipline her?
Her mom ain't got no. Nah, she can forget about that shit. I'm the disciplinarian, in the household. Her mom just called me. She was like, "I'm about to kill your daughter." I'm like, "Shit, not if I kill her first." But yeah, she's getting better. She's getting better. They make my day really really. I love them. They make me so proud. She just pokes the bear every now and then.
Well, let me answer this question and then we can get up out of here. Well, let me say this, right? I realize this is going to be one of those questions that make you really think because it's like, okay, why do this? I remember I thought it was okay being violent because again, my mother was a disciplinarian, my father was a lecturer. My father would lecture so long because they were divorced, so he would be across town on the phone lecturing us, and he lectured so long I go take a shower, come back, and the man's still talking. Didn't even know I left, right? Like that's how he would always do his thing. And one day I told him, he's like, "Yeah, I figured that you weren't listening." Yeah, I'm like, "What was the whole purpose of that?" But my mother was the one, like I said, was the one who would always come with the belt and everything else. But I thought it was okay to express anger wise. Like, okay, I understand that children do try it. I understand children try it because working in elementary school with disrespectful kids, man, I blacked out on a couple of kids, but I thought that was the thing that you're supposed to do. At least with you, Pineapple, you thought, but right before your son walked in, you thought, if I do this, I know there's no coming back from this, right?
Because I
You
was
thought.
furious.
Me, I didn't even think, I didn't even care because again, that's kind of how I was raised in a way. Like, hey, we're gonna resort to violence. I remember my mom like thumping me in the face, at times. It was just in my mind. I kept thinking, is this what you're supposed to do, right? So, even like how she came at my father a couple of times, in a very like in a way, a violent way and stuff like that. So I'm thinking to myself, this is what you're supposed to do, and I remember a guy who I was, had liked at the time, but I realized I didn't really like him. It was just lust. I would put my hands on him. So because I'm thinking that this is something that you're supposed, yes, not the face of my apple. So I'm thinking that this is what you're supposed to do. I think that, but I had to realize that's being toxic. I had to
Mhm.
realize. Go ahead, Pineapple.
No, because I had a follow up question to that.
No, go ahead. You can ask me.
All right, so I'm asking women across America. My question is, why do that if you know you can't whoop his ass? No,
So
because we deal with, like, again, I hate this job, but it teaches me a lot. We deal with a lot of situations where females will act out their aggression and put their hands on men and poke the bear, knowing that if this man decided he wanted to turn violent or physical, there's nothing you can do to stop him from breaking his foot all the way off in your ass. Why do that? Why even put yourself in that situation? And I tell my daughter that a lot because she used to feel like whenever she got mad, she can just tear off and hit her brother and there is no consequences. And I ended up telling him one day because he was getting sick of that shit. I said, "Pop the fuck out of it, like that the shit out of her in the mouth." I said, "I guarantee you that shit will stop." And one day, he had enough, and it ate him up. But he whacked the fuck out of her. She hit the ground. She started crying. You couldn't tell that girl she didn't just die and come back to life. She was so hysterical. She was shocked. But what happened from that day was she never put her hands on her brother again. And I'm like, you got to learn to control that anger because you're going to run across somebody who don't give a shit about you that way and they're going to hurt you real bad. So you just said, you put your hands on it. Why do that if you know you can't beat them?
so I can answer for myself. Other women, who knows, they may not take accountability, but I'll answer for myself. That's a curse word to a lot of people. So for myself, it was because I was, again, like I said, I was acting out in a way of thinking that this is what you're supposed to do, knowing that, or this is what also someone told me as well. I had a person, this one guy who I had liked, but I realized it was lust. But he told me this a long time ago. He said that every couple puts their hands on each other at some point.
Lies.
And so wait, hold on.
I
He
mean,
said
yeah,
that.
to have sex. Yeah, you do that to have sex to be
Yeah.
intimate. What the fuck? Yeah,
I
we
put
do
my
that.
hands all over you in that
And not
situation.
to beat up a person, to have sex with you. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
touch you, caress
So
you, and feel you.
So let me tell you, in one of my undergrad psychology classes, I learned, and this is actually statistically proven, 80% of couples have acted out in violence at some point or another with each other. And it could be something like, in their face, like you're really in their face, and all of that type. Like again, with you, Pineapple, you said with your exes, it never got to that point with you all where you're in each other's face, growling all that because you're like at that point, I gotta walk away because what are we doing here? We're not children, we're not 5 years old, right? Yeah. And so, but knowing that 80% of couples at some point in their relationship have been volatile towards each other, throwing something at each other, whatever else it may be, really in each other's face. And I said, wow. But when he told me that, I said, not everybody. So anyway, what I started doing was just kind of like, polling different couples or people, or just asking them at some point. And once I realized, I'm like, sir, you're wrong about this. He's like, they just ain't going to admit to you. No, I don't think they have nothing to lie about. Some things people might be ashamed about and other things they're not, right? But I say all that to say, just kind of wrapping all this, my point up and everything. It was what I thought was okay. I thought it was okay. And on top of that, I didn't know how to control my emotions. I'm at the point where I am. Go ahead.
So where did you get that from?
I told you, like from watching it growing up.
Mm-hmm. Watching it growing up. Perpetrated by who?
Parents.
Parents?
Yes.
One parent in particular, or both of them? Mom. Exactly. Now we're getting to the common denominator here. A lot of these issues that you're speaking of spark from women not being able to control their goddamn emotions. And a lot of them are not only teaching this ruthless behavior to their daughters, they're also teaching it to their sons. And why you have a whole gang of fuckboys and YNs running around here beating the shit out of women at the slightest scent of indiscretion, because that is what they're being taught. They don't know how to regulate their emotions, how to check that shit at the door. They just say, I get mad, I pop off, and I hit a son bitch. I remember when I first switched over to being an MP, my very first week on the road, I had a domestic violence call, and I showed up to the house. I wasn't in patrol 3 days. And she came out there and she was bragging on hitting this man about 15 goddamn times. She had to throw the lamp at him. She threw the cat at him. She broke the phone.
She threw the cat at him?
She threw the fucking cat at the man. She broke the phone, bro. She had a BlackBerry phone. The 5 was missing.
Damn, a BlackBerry.
She had a BlackBerry. The argument was about because he had said we'd do something, one night this week, but he was a mechanic. So he had been in the motor pool all week. It's hot as fuck. Friday night come around. He want a beer and he want to relax. He don't want to do anything else. He's tired. And she kept pushing and poking the bear. Now, when I got there, my man was sitting on the car smoking a cigarette with a shirt. He already knew. I've been about to go to jail. She came out there and I'm talking to her and she just explained it. She was like, I started pushing him, then I kicked him, then I bit him, and then I threw the phone, and then I threw the whatchamacallit. And I'm sitting there like, okay, then what happened? And then what happened? And then what happened? And then he tried to walk away from me, and I got jumped on his back, and I bit him on the neck. I said, okay, then what happened? She's like, he hit me. And I said, really? She said, yes. Can you believe that shit? And I'm like, yeah, you deserve that shit. I said, you deserve that like a motherfucker. And she was like, who would have did? So I told her, I said,
did you lock both of them up or just one?
No.
Oh, wait. Let me guess. You locked the woman up.
No, I didn't. I said, check this out. I said, let me tell your punk ass something. When I tell you I had no professionalism whatsoever, my partner was like, oh shit. He walked away from me. He was like, this motherfucker crazy. So I was like, let me tell your punk ass something. I said, if I take him to jail, I said, I'm gonna take your punk ass to jail too. I said, the problem with that is he gets convicted of domestic violence, he's going to lose his job. 45 days from now, y'all punk ass is gonna be out on the street homeless and broke. I said, so I'm gonna give you the option to do this the right way. Go inside and handle this like adults, or push the issue, and I'm taking you both to jail, and he's gonna lose his career. Of course, she took the latter of the two. But yeah, like you see that a lot where they will poke the bear, throw the bricks, and hide their hands. And I'm gonna tell you why they do this. because they know generally they have the support of the community, the law, and the judicial system is always going to be on their side. When you hear man spaz out, beat a woman, man spaz out, kill the woman, the question is this motherfucker sane? Because no one is ever going to question what she did to warrant what just happened to her. She could have been the most vile person on the planet, but everybody's immediately going to run to her attention and to her aid and defend her, not knowing the facts. Case in point, the brick lady. But that's how it always happened. And it's like, oh, she was so this and that and the third. No, she was a fucking piece of shit and she got what she deserved. Like at the end of the day, that's why they do those things, because they know everybody's going to have their back initially. And even when the real story comes out, where she did X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third or whatnot, they're like, well, fuck, she still shouldn't have did that. Nah, because you think about it, Wings, you a man, I'm a man. We from the same city, right? You know as well as I know, a lot of shit women get away with doing. Me and you would literally go to war with each other over the slightest fucking
Yeah.
thing.
Get that
So
pussy and
if
shit nigga at the wall. Yeah.
exactly, so if me and this man are literally going to kill each other over some shit, why would we let them get away with it? Especially when it come down to playing with our churn, our fucking money, and our pet and our moms. Like that's three cardinal sins. Like I'm ready to take your ass off the census for some shit like that. But again, you're a woman, so you get a pass, right?
That what society said. Hey. Pussy good,
Exactly.
pussy power. That's that pussy power.
Fuck all that shit. Fuck all that shit. So I would say to the soft legs out there in America, learn how to control your goddamn emotions and whatnot.
Legs.
Yeah, go learn how to control your emotions. I know your mama's probably taught you to spaz the fuck out, or even if she didn't teach you that, this is what you saw her doing growing up, spazzing out and just lashing out and doing X, Y, and Z whenever they get mad or whenever shit don't go their way. Trust me, it's gonna get you hurt in the end. It's going to get you hurt in the end. Now I'd be like, all right, big fella, I gotta take you to jail because you did beat this motherfucker teeth out of my mouth. However, she may have would deserve that or warranted, but yet you still gonna go down for it, dog.
You gotta go to jail.
You
Yeah.
got you gotta go to jail, man.
And I know that definitely
Anyway.
hurts as well because you're like, bro, this woman was really in the wrong and everything else like that. Well, here's a better question: at what point do you take? What do you believe an officer should take a woman to jail and let the man stay home?
It kind of
Mm.
depends on the situation. If it's a situation where he broke the law, unfortunately, he has to go. If it's a situation where she broke the law, then she's definitely gonna go. Like I've seen people be like, all right, yeah, she did X, Y, and Z, but do I really want to take her to jail? Her daughter's there crying, whatnot. Okay, her daughter's gonna be there crying if you take her fucking daddy to jail too. She fucked up. She gonna catch that L. Maybe she will learn sitting in a cell or whatnot, having to pay fines and shit like that, being on probation. That maybe you can't spaz out and do these kind of things. Like she has to be accountable for her action because every time you don't hold a woman accountable for their action, they think that that is okay.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. You know what? And so like let me just kind of like just wrapping all this up. Just like I said, I think honestly it's one of those things where it could, be a double standard. With some people, if they just think like again, I don't feel like even as a parent, you don't have to get to this place of having to whoop your child or so. Because what happens if it gets to the place when they're 15, 16, you think it's still okay to whoop them and they get so upset that they fight you back or I've seen parents like they ball their fist up at me. I'm like, well, they're 16 years old. At that point, find something that you got to find different ways of discipline, or maybe like I say, it's like for me, I don't know, man. Like the way how I was, yes, my mother will talk about, you do need to control your anger and everything else like that. And I also think here's the thing as well. What I had to learn was there's a lot of people in these relationships who should never be together. But I'm still thankful that my parents got together because, of course, if they didn't, then I wouldn't be here. There's always, like in the word it says, God, Romans 8:28, God works everything out for the greater good. So I'm still glad that I'm here, so I can, and again, it's a lot of people who are here that, parents never were supposed to be together. But at the same exact time, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where before you get into a serious relationship, you do need to take some type of anger management counseling courses. You need to really rationally think. Don't that's and I know it's easier said than done, but also not arguing. Like there are things like I say, even when it comes to even simple things like arguing back and forth on the internet. Like I caught myself going back and forth with this elderly lady last week over wings. It was a post about the confirmation of the date. And this is basically just kind of, this is what she had said. Basically, she said, and she's a pretty woman. And I'm like, why are you acting so ugly to all of us, right? So basically,
most of them pretty women are fucked up.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. About 60. She had to be about 60. Who knows?
Because if you ugly, you got to have a good attitude. You can't be both of them. You got to pick a struggle.
Yeah, but basically what it was is that it was a man who made this post. He's like, men are not confirming dates. And basically what it was, it's a lot of guys out here who they're not confirming dates, right? And so I remember I asked.
Oh, I think we did talk about that.
Yeah, I've had men who the day of, or not too many men, but I've had men who the day of, where they're like, hey, so what are you doing today? And I'm like, well, I thought we were going on a date. Oh, yeah, we are. Okay. And I never hear back from them again. Or they'll ask me out and then I'm like, let me just see if I meet them there without no really correspondence, no conversation. I get stood up or whatever it might be, right? This older woman, like I said, she has to probably be 50s-ish, maybe 60 at the latest. She was the only woman in the comments section. It was like thousands of comments who disagreed with that. And when she was just sitting here like, no, you guys, low self-esteem women. If the date is confirmed once he asked me a week or 2 weeks prior to, so here we are trying to come at her with some type of logic, but she's arguing us all down. She literally, reading to respond. She doesn't care. And she's calling us, out of our names. And I said, why? I said, you're talking about the last thing I said to her before I said, listen, we're done. I just told her, I said, you're talking about how reconfirmation is for 5-year-olds. Why are you talking to us and treating us like you're a 5-year-old? You're being ugly. You're being mean. I was just going, I said, Miss Lisa. I came at with her respect. Miss Lisa. Da-da-da-da-da. And then she said that I have the spirit of Satan in me. Whatever. So anyway. So I just was like, I'm like, she's got the Jezebel spirit and the spirit of Leviathan. Whatever. So like I said, but even stuff like that, just kind of like wrapping all this up, stuff like that is arguing, period. It's exhausting. We don't need to do it. Lil Duval made that song, Living My Best Life. After I got so upset with Miss Lisa, I started listening. I listened to that song 3-4 times in a row because I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? I'm too playing for this. But anyway, that's about it. That is about it. Well, listen, Pineapple, thank you. This is like one of those discussions that it could continuously keep going on, have multiple different parts and, definitely get other people's perspective on it. But thank you so much, Pineapple, for showing up. Glad your arm is, it's in this recovery stage. Wings, I appreciate you.
We getting back there.
I appreciate you, Wings, and to the audience, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bells on, man. Bell on. And just tune in. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And with that being said, y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. We are out. We're out. Thank y'all.